Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to your WWE Money in the Bank 2018 preview and predictions. This is a loaded card. Why? Because it's 4 hours long. It's starting at 7 o'clock on Sunday, earlier than usual, and I'm pretty sure all non-Big Four pay-per-views are going to be 4 hours long from now on, and that also means that all the Big Four pay-per-views are going to be 5 or 6 hours, with WrestleMania being fucking 7. So we can't make anything long enough if we're WWE, but for now, we've got 10 matches, including, I believe, 5 championship matches, as well as 2 Money in the Bank ladder matches. It is a loaded card. I'm actually pretty excited for it to a degree, but John, before I even get into that, I want to know how you're feeling, brother.
You know what, man? Money in the Bank is in such a weird place with me, and that's why I'm stoked to be doing this, for one, because I thought I was going to come in with a certain set of predictions, and I feel like a lot of those changed, and they may change again in the heat of the moment. That's another thing I love about premium predictions. Nothing's set in stone until it is. And as far as the card itself, there are some matches I'm definitely looking forward to. Like, regardless of whether I like the field or not, I always look forward to the Money in the Bank ladder matches because I always like seeing mechanisms that kind of tease the future. Like, oh, you're going to go with this guy or this girl, or you're going to go potentially with this feud or that feud. So I think most immediately my hype for Money in the Bank, I'd give it an 8 out of 10, honestly. And for what the future could be if they handle this right, or at least my definition of right, that's how I should really phrase that. I'd say my hype is like a 9.5 out of 10. I always love Money in the Bank because, again, it builds to really the remainder of the year and maybe a little bit beyond that, depending on how long they want their case holders to hold them for. So, yeah, I love this pay-per-view. It's my favorite pay-per-view of the year. So very hyped for it, and even more hyped for it when you take it like out of, the most immediate pay-per-view and think about the broader scheme of the WWE. I think some good stuff can come out of this show. I really do.
I don't know if I really have one pay-per-view that I would consider my favorite, just because for the longest time it was the Royal Rumble, but the last few Royal Rumbles have been such ass.
Yeah, way to draw it out, bud. And you're not wrong. You're not wrong. But even if, you don't really have a favorite, what's your hype right now for Money in the Bank?
You said 8, and I was like, damn, that's really high. But then I kind of thought about some of the matches that we're going to be getting, and your point about how this really does kind of set things up for the future, and then more kind of short-term future. SummerSlam could potentially get some serious ramifications out of this. I'll say 7. I was going to say 6, but just thinking about some of the matches that we're going to get and the 2 big Money in the Bank ladder matches and, that kind of stuff. Yeah, I'll up it a little bit. We'll go up to a 7. I'll give it a 7 out of 10 for my hype level right now.
All right, so we're different, but not by much. I like that. So, brother, I know you and I were even talking about this a bit earlier. This card, a 10-match card. Holy shit.
It's a 10-match card, but if you think about it, takeovers are typically only 2 hours, and those are 5 matches every time. So, double the amount of time, double the amount of matches, right?
Oh my God, the math. Good thing Mark Schoeneman's here. But no, brother, when you're ready to dive into this, I am. Let's do this.
Well, shit. The downside to having a bigger card is that you kind of have to fluff it out with meaningless matches, and they did exactly that with 3 basically meaningless non-title matches, including the one with the worst build to a match I've seen since Bayley versus Alexa Bliss Extreme Rules last year. Bobby Lashley versus Sami Zayn. What the fuck are they doing?
You know what, brother? Here's what I would like to do, if you don't mind. I remember feeding you the ball a lot yesterday for TakeOver preview predictions, and I'm not saying I want to take the ball a lot. I would like it to be more equal, but I would actually like to start this time if you're cool with that.
Do it!
Oh, wow, that's really intense. No, I agree with you, although I will say this. Bless you, Sami Zayn, because he has fucking tried his heart out to make this shit
work. He has, right? He talk about a guy that just gets fed chicken shit day after day after day. And he's like in the kitchen breaking out the lettuce and the fruits and the beautiful croutons and all that great stuff, trying to turn this chicken shit into chicken salad, but they're just giving him so much. There's only so much he can do. And then Bobby Lashley comes in and he's like, oh, haha, chicken shit. Let's up the ante. And then he takes a dump on the counter. So it's chicken shit and human shit at the same time. And Sami just gets overwhelmed and he just can't handle it all.
He's like, what happened to my kitchen? No, that's why, like, I know it's usually my MO on Twitter. Well, to just be miserable with matches like this and be like, fuck everybody, I hate everyone. But we really do have to parcel out the good from the bad, or, I guess to build on the shit metaphor, the corn from the shit. And Sami is the corn in this metaphor, because he really has, dude. Like, and I'm glad you agree with me on this. Like, I feel like he has put his back into this. I feel like, here's what I honestly feel about Sami Zayn. I feel like in a way he didn't give a fuck about this, but that's what made it work so well. He's
that's the thing. Like, he cared to the extent of, I've got to turn this into something watchable so that I don't lose my fucking job or get a stigma over my head.
Like, dude, and this is quite a 180 for a guy where I always respected Sami Zayn, but like, I can never really like get into any of his stuff. The guy's built a fucking hospital in Syria. He's an amazing heel when, like, he's also this babyface that everybody, like, wants to cheer for and get behind. And he's taken a feud that nobody should give a fuck about and has actually given us genuine laughs out of it. Give this man a fucking championship. Like, I mean, he's already probably got angel's wings, but, like, give him a fucking championship to go with it. And I say all this as a preamble because it really pisses me off that I think Lashley's winning here. Yeah. And, like, and that's the thing. Like, I love heel Sami. But honestly, this would be a case where I really wish Sami was the babyface here and Lashley was the heel. Because now I never watched any of it. And I don't know if anybody in chat's ever watched it. Maybe they can vouch for or against this. But I kept hearing what an amazing heel Lashley was in Impact. Like, oh, he's doing all this great stuff. I mean, I never watched it. I don't think I'll ever go back because I have better things to do with my time if I'm truthful. But clearly as a face, he's ass. Like, it just doesn't work.
Wait, let's double down. He's
oh god, that'll never not make me giggle. But yeah, like, it's such a shame that Lashley is like the face when he looks like he does and has no personality, is like in the position he's in. And I just feel like,
John, what do you mean he has no personality? He has 3 sisters that used to torture him.
Oh god, it's so uninspired. And
the most important part of all, he was in the fucking army.
Oh, my troops, my flag. It sucks, man. I don't even think the match is necessarily going to be shit, mainly because Sami is in it. Like, I feel like he's one of those competitors that can drag at least a passable match out of those guys that are very limited in the ring. Now, I don't know if it's just being a face that limits Lashley or just the idea that he is an older guy and whatever. But I'm really not expecting much from him. And again, that's why it just really pisses me off that he's getting the win. So yeah, there's really nothing more I can say. Sami, I'm sorry this is the spot that you're in. I really wish you'd be doing something more. I wish he'd be going after Seth Rollins with the IC title. Although the person doing it right now, I'm happy for him too. It just sucks that Sami drew the short straw, and that's really all I can say about it.
Yeah, you know what? I think this is one of those cases where I don't care enough about who wins to be purposely pessimistic. So, based on the fact that the horribly built feud of May of 2017 ended with the heel antagonizer winning and getting proven right, I'm just going to say fuck it and predict Sami to win this because this is the horribly built feud of May into June of 2018, and Sami is the heel antagonizer, and I think he's going to get proven right. Maybe Bobby Lashley isn't as tough as he thinks he is, damn it.
Well, there you go.
I don't know. Maybe it really is just a lack of caring because these first 3 matches I could not possibly care less about. And speaking of the first 3, we just kind of went over the first. Let's get into the second. Daniel Bryan versus Big Cass. And since you went first on the first match, I might as well just take the gun here. And I say the gun because this is the kind of match that makes you want to blow your brains out because we just saw this match on the last pay-per-view. Bryan won extremely decisively. Cass, he got his knee worked over. He was selling the knee on a house show, and everyone thought he was injured because of it. And they were like, oh, he's not going to be able to make money in the bank. And then it turns out it was a worked injury. And then he shows up, and they're talking about, oh, he can't compete. He can't be in Money in the Bank. And then he ends up being in Money in the Bank qualifying match, and he ends up losing it, but he doesn't get bitched out because Joe chokes Bryan out. So based on the way that they're building this, you would think, oh, Cass is going to get a win, and then we're going to get another fucking match, a rubber match at like SummerSlam or whatever the next pay-per-view is, probably Battleground or Extreme Rules or something like that. I don't even know. But I don't care. I think that I'm just ready to move on. Bryan versus Cass isn't doing anything for me. Cass beating Bryan wouldn't really do anything for anyone because it's just the big guy beating the little guy, and that doesn't impress anyone. So I'm just going to say Bryan wins the second straight, and we get to move on from this feud, hopefully.
You and I actually agree on this. I don't know. I've just always had a feeling that Bryan was going to win 2 straight on this. It really is a shame. I loved Cass's initial promo on Miz TV. I feel like he's gone down since then. The promo he cut most recently on the Go Home SmackDown Live with the whole Carnival ride.
You want to move closer to your mic? You sound very far away.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that. I said, just to kind of repeat, it really, first of all, I agree that Bryan's going to win 2 straight, and I've had that feeling for a while, honestly. Secondly, I was really rooting for Cass to succeed because I loved his initial promo on Miz TV. I thought he dressed the part well, this and that. But over time, I feel like the quality of the promos have kind of gone down. The promo on the Go Home show wasn't necessarily terrible, but it was cheesy as fuck. Like, oh, you weren't tall enough to ride the roller coaster. Like, come on. That's so, oh my God, that's grade school fucking shit. I'm tired of certain heels getting grade school fucking material. EC3 and now Cass. So yeah, I feel like Cass's star is kind of falling with me personally. The match should be all right. I mean, I didn't think their match at Backlash was that bad. Because again, much like the Sami Lashley match, you get a worker the quality of Bryan. I think you're going to get something at least passable at worst. So I hope Bryan wins. And even
Frankly,
if you don't,
I'm not expecting any terrible matches on this show. Although I will say that the next match that we're going to talk about, I do expect to be the worst match on this show.
Oh God, that one. Yeah. So I'm like you. I hope Bryan wins 2 straight. We move the fuck on from this, whatever that even means. I don't even know. Maybe it'll be even worse than this, which I shudder to fucking think. But yeah, Bryan wins.
I'm just hoping that we get Bryan Almas. If Bryan's leaving in September, we need to get Bryan Almas before then.
Yes. Please, yes. Yes, completely agree. Oh, my God.
Yeah, definitely. So we actually agree that Bryan is going to win this and hopefully put this feud to rest.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, so let's get to our third match then. Roman Reigns versus Jinder Mahal. I think it's pretty obvious that Roman's winning this, but I thought it was pretty obvious that Roman was beating Brock going into WrestleMania too, so what the fuck do I know?
Brother, I love that you and I just have this tone like Money in the Bank. Most of these matches are happening. Some we care about, but most are just happening. Tune in and see what we think about it. Because no, I'm right there with you. Like, what the fuck? I'm hearing rumors that like the rumored main event is Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, and really, like, I'm not angry anymore. I'm not laughing anymore. It really is just that, like, does anybody give a shit? Like, does anybody give a fuck that this is still a thing? And for me personally, honestly, I could see Jinder winning this. I feel like I should probably take myself outside and like stand in front of a car for saying something like that, but I really do. Like, something tells me Jinder's gonna fucking win this because he hasn't done fuck all since he's gotten here, right? Since being in that like upper mid card to main event stratosphere on SmackDown, and I feel like they're gonna want to give Jinder a little something at least. And plus, in their mind,
what? I bet you Roman is the first person to ever kick out of the Colossus.
Yeah, probably.
Because I'm pretty sure no one's ever kicked out of that before.
I don't think so, because I don't think AJ ever kicked out of it in their feud.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure that the match that he won, I think he won 2 matches against Jinder, and I don't think Jinder hit the Colossus in either one. And if he did, it was like one of those situations where he didn't pin him right away.
Yeah, or I think, you know what, he might have gotten the claws, but AJ got his foot on the rope. So it wasn't like an actual kick out. It was like a rope
exactly. Break. Yeah, it wasn't like an actual kick out. It was just, scraping by with ring positioning.
Right.
So.
And that's the thing. Like, I honestly think I'm going to go with it. This is probably going to be my first, like, on a limb prediction of the night. I think Jinder's beating Roman because not only do I think they want to give Jinder something to give him some air of credibility for whatever the fuck they're going to feed him to. Honestly, I can't wait for Drew to go babyface so he can kick Jinder's head off his shoulders.
That's another thing too, is you mentioned Brock Roman earlier. I also heard that Brock wasn't even going to be at SummerSlam this year, dude.
If he isn't, that is a fucking joke. Like, I won't even get into that whole rant right now, but Jesus Christ, WWE, if that is true. Oh my God. But yeah, I think they want to give Jinder something. And on the other side, I think they want to intensify Roman's struggle. My odds. So yeah, I'm gonna go Jinder beats Roman. I don't know where you're gonna fall on it, but that's where I'm going, man.
Yeah, I can, you know what? I can definitely understand where you're coming from on that, just because WWE seems to be in a place where they're kind of trying the Daniel Bryan approach with Roman, where you beat him and you make it seem like he's not the company guy, and then the fans are supposed to get behind him, but it's not going to work. And even then, I still don't think that because even if they want it to seem that way, the fact that that's not true makes it more likely that they're not going to be willing to have him job out to anyone, and especially someone like Jinder, where Vince sees it as McCountry kind of shit, like US versus India kind of bullshit, and they haven't even made it about that, but you just know that that's in Vince's mind, and Roman's just going to win. And we didn't really even need to put this much time into this match, but you did have a little bit of a contrarian pick here, which I do appreciate, but I am going to stick with the chalk, as they say, the easy pick in Roman. So let's move on to our first match with actual stakes, but still really terribly built to in this, this month or so that we've had to build to it. Bludgeon Brothers versus Luke Gallows and Karl Anderson. First of all, what did Anderson and Gallows even do to earn contendership for this?
They beat the Usos on an episode of SmackDown Live.
So that just the one match against former champs, and you get in.
Yeah, it was a sanctioned #1 contendership match, to be fair, but like that's all I've got. So,
wow. Alrighty. I'm just gonna go ahead and say Bludgeon Brothers retain.
Yeah, this is fucking Anderson and Gallows. Like, I remember the cool shit they did in New Japan. Hey, remember when Karl Anderson beat fucking Nakamura in a G1?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Like, Jesus Christ, dude.
Remember when Karl Anderson made it to the G1 finals?
Yeah, I do. Holy fuck. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at, folks. The club is pretty much nobody's at this point. But here we are. I feel like this feud could have been something. I like the concept of the Bludgeon Brothers. I know some people think it's gotten a bit hokey. I still enjoy it personally, if for no other reason, because Luke Harper's on my TV. God, I still think about what that face run could have been if they really committed. Oh my God. So yeah, you've got talented guys that have just been kind of floundering around. This is a no-nothing tag title match. I don't even know who the next meaningful contenders for the Bludgeon Brothers are going to be. I wonder, honestly, because, see, to me, this match and, like, the lackadaisical booking shows that they really don't care about this division. So I could honestly see, now this may be a bit of hyperbole on my part, they're either going to lose it most immediately to Sanity, which is most likely whenever they get called up, or if they really wanted to wait and give the Bludgeon Brothers a dominant run, maybe they drop them to fucking War Raiders when they get called up. I'm saying either Sanity or War Raiders are the next tag champions, and maybe it'll give some freaking life to this division, but I doubt it. So I'm going to say Bludgeon.
War Raiders to be SmackDown Live tag down champs? You think they're going to?
Yeah, I'm saying most likely it's going to be Sanity because they were already called up. They're just waiting to do something. I'm saying that because this division looks so lazy, because they did nothing for this. Like, I don't think SmackDown cares about.
Oh, and you know what I'm actually seeing here? Apparently, this is the pre-show match. I didn't even realize that. We probably should have talked about it first, but stakes, but it is pre-show.
Yeah, that just shows you, though, how much the tag division's been demoted.
I love, though, that the tag team championship match on SmackDown is less important to WWE than Bobby Lashley versus Sami Zayn.
Right, though. Tells you everything you need to know.
Like, it's not even surprising that it's more important than Roman Jinder just because it's fucking Roman. But the fact that it's more important to them than Zayn Lashley, like, oh my God, what the hell?
Yeah, dude. Holy shit. Yeah, I'm just gonna go Bludgeon Brothers retain, dude. It's so sad. I feel like and I'm not even blaming the Bludgeon Brothers for this because it's not on the performers, it's on like the positioning and the writing and all that stuff. But
Yeah.
like when the Usos were tag champions, something must have made them care in the back more then, because I feel like the tag division was actually, if not like the hottest thing, it at least had life to it. I feel no life.
I mean, it's probably because of how good the Usos are at talking on a live mic. Maybe the Bludgeon Brothers aren't as comfortable on a live mic, and their stuff all has to be pre-tapes.
Yeah. Yeah. Damn.
I don't know.
And
yeah, man, like the Uso, like that's the thing. Like on paper, SmackDown's tag division looks sick. They've got the Usos, you've got the New Day, you've got Anderson and Gallows. I do like the Bludgeon Brothers. They are a good tag team in the ring. So it's not like they're completely lacking in actual tag team talent. Plus Sanity, whenever the hell they show. I'm guessing they're going to show up on the post Money in the Bank SmackDown. That's been a rumor that I've heard. But yeah, man, they've got tag teams. It's not like they're lacking in talent. And then you look over on Raw and like, who do they have? Like, the Revival is the best thing that they have on Raw, and they choose to just not use them at all.
Yeah, which is another fucking tragedy. But
and you know what? Speaking of Raw, aren't we supposed to be getting Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy versus the B team on this show? It's not even listed on the Wikipedia.
I guess we're not. I mean, you would assume so since the B team won that battle royal, but I guess their tag title shot isn't going to be on Money in the Bank. So maybe the Raw team cares about their tag division even less because they didn't even make the fucking card. Damn. Couldn't even make the pre-show. That's crazy.
Yeah, I'm literally like, I'm on WWE.com and it literally just says they won a tag team battle royal to earn the right to challenge Wilkin, Matt Hardy, and Bray Wyatt for the Raw Tag Team Championship. It does not say when.
Wow.
Yeah, it just like it's like, oh yeah, they can challenge now, but it doesn't say when, so it's not on the friggin' pay-per-view.
Well, you know what? I've said all I can say. So to reiterate one final time, Bludgeon Brothers are retaining. I think you pretty much agreed, and you said the same thing. So yes. Yeah, I'm good, man. We can move on if you want.
Yeah. I also wanted to ask everyone in chat right now to like the video. I did see we had a thumbs down. For what reason, I don't know, but we do have 21 people live viewing right now. So make sure to leave a thumbs up, like the video, let us know what you think. And of course, if you haven't, subscribe to the channel and make sure to click the bell icon so you can get notified whenever we go live or upload a video. And now we can move on to a match that I struggled with the placement, because we always try and go from least important to most important. And I feel like this match, just based on how it's been built, this match has felt like a really important match. They've done an amazing job building this. Both performers have done an amazing job at making me invested in them as characters and this match. But I had to put it here because it doesn't have any world title implications. And I consider the women's titles to be their division's equivalent of a world title. So unfortunately, this had to be our fifth match, the first half of our preview predictions. Seth Rollins defending the Intercontinental Championship against Elias. It pains me that we're talking about this so early, but here we are. John, Seth versus Elias. What do you think?
Love both guys to death.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
This is what I mean when I say that like WWE's upside, because for all the shit that they produce, and it can be a lot at times, there are always those gems to kind of sift through and pick out, and you won't find two brighter gems than Seth Rollins and Elias. I mean, these guys have killed it. Again, Elias's most recent concert on Seth, where Seth ended up curb stomping the custom-made guitar, that was a brilliant segment. I think one of Elias's best concerts ever.
Dude, I was even saying, I think that was Elias' best song ever. Yeah, that was awesome.
Like, they were legitimate burns towards Rollins, where I was like, oh, shit.
I like the tune, too. I want to say it was like to the tune of Simple Man. I don't even remember exactly, but I liked the tune of it.
Yeah, like, great stuff. And Rollins' retort, you know, I think it's what you'd expect with a babyface of like his personality and stuff like that. So like I had no problem with that. And the curb stomp and the guitar was clever rather than just like smashing it on the canvas in a more standard way. I thought, that was a creative spin on it. I've struggled with this because Rollins is so fucking hot right now. Like, the crowd is loving him. I think he's the best match consistently on every pay-per-view. I think he may be challenged a little bit for that distinction on this show, but he still may very well take it, honestly. Because, he's working with somebody like Elias, who I think when he works as a heel and he's in a big-time match is great. Like, I thought his match with Roman Reigns a while back was legitimately good, and I enjoyed his stuff with Braun. So he's a great character performer, and he can get it done in ring. So, yeah, these guys, I'm hoping they have chemistry. As far as the winner, God, I struggle so much with this because on one hand, Seth really, to me, Seth Rollins has made the Intercontinental Championship the most exciting championship in WWE right now. Like, I'm into his feud.
I love that Seth is the Intercontinental Champion because he has effectively made the Intercontinental Championship feel like the world title on Raw.
Yes, I 1000% agree with you. At the same time, I feel like Elias has just been so good for so long that I'd love to see him as Intercontinental Champion. And honestly, I'd love to see Elias go on like a honky-tonk man kind of run, just do the music, do the concerts, and just never seemingly being beat. I don't think
Elias has never held a title in WWE, never held one in NXT, hasn't held one yet on the main roster. Obviously, I think you're kind of working your way towards your pick, but I'm just going to blurt mine out. I actually do think Elias is going to win here. I want to see the Intercontinental title with him. I want the rematch between these guys to happen on Raw. I want Seth to be in a #1 contenders match on the next pay-per-view, and I want Seth challenging for the Universal title at SummerSlam. So, there are obviously the rumors that Brock won't even be at SummerSlam, and that's a possibility, but whenever Brock shows up next, I say fuck Roman. I want his opponent to be Seth Rollins, and I want Seth to win that red belt, God damn it. Give him the Vince.
Dude, I would fucking love that. I really would. I really fucking would. I'm even leaning towards Elias myself, honestly, but I think I'm going to go Seth to retain. And it sucks because he's doing great things with it, so I don't even want to seem like Seth is burdened by the Intercontinental title.
You know what, though? I think it's fair. I think it's fair because if it's true that Brock isn't even going to be at SummerSlam, I get it. I get not wanting to take the title off Seth because as great as Elias is, Seth is the one making the Intercontinental title feel like the world title on Raw. Seth elevating that title. So if he isn't 2 pay-per-views away from being able to challenge for the Universal title, why the fuck would you take that title off of him?
Yeah, I actually completely agree with that logic. So I'm going to go Seth to retain. And hell, if Brock isn't going to be on the show, then, well, really, here's the bad thing. If Brock isn't even going to be on the show, maybe a women's championship match would main event, depending on how that goes. We're going to talk about that in a bit. But ideally, I would like Seth to main event the show. Because I don't think an Intercontinental title match has main evented a SummerSlam since what? SummerSlam, what was the year that Bulldog won it from Bret Hart?
Shit, 94?
94, right? Yeah, because I was going to say 92, but I think that was Hart perfect.
No, it wasn't 94. It wasn't 94. You're really asking the wrong person on this, brother.
Let me look it up real quick.
SummerSlam 92. Yeah, it was 92. You were right.
Oh, it was 92. I really thought that was perfect, Hart. But yeah, SummerSlam 92. Because if I remember correctly, Bulldog Hart was the main event of that SummerSlam for the IC title because it was in Bulldog's hometown.
It was in Wembley Stadium. It was huge.
So yeah,
80,000 people in attendance. It was like basically WrestleMania.
So I know it's been like a long time and it probably won't happen again, but if you were to ever have the Intercontinental title main event of SummerSlam again, you wouldn't find a better champion than Seth freaking Rollins. So I'm going to go Seth to retain, and hopefully he main events SummerSlam this year if Brock's bitch ass is even going to show up.
Hell yeah. That's the thing. Like, even if Brock doesn't show up, if we can get Seth versus Roman for the Intercontinental title main eventing SummerSlam, I'm down, man. I'm okay with that. Basically, it could be like a loser faces Brock next match.
Right, yeah, exactly. There you go.
Which is kind of ironic because they would be losing, but then obviously they would get built back up to the main event.
Losing their way to the championship, the Dolph Ziggler formula.
Exactly. All right, man. Well, oh God,
I love how like you go from laughing at my joke and your voice immediately nosedives to like, oh God, I just remembered I want to die. How many
no, that's the thing. It's not even that. It's more like God, like this whole Brock not showing up thing is like it's throwing the monkey wrench in my plan, man. Like I was thinking, like I had it all planned out. I was like, Seth loses the title here. Seth versus someone for the #1 contendership at the next pay-per-view. Seth wins. We get Seth Brock at SummerSlam. Seth wins the goddamn title, and Vince kicks Brock's ass to the curb to UFC where he wants to be.
Exactly. God, that'd be so perfect.
I know, but it's too perfect. Brock's not going to be at SummerSlam now, so you know what? Screw it. I'm changing my mind. Seth to retain. I'm joining you.
Oh my God! Oh my God! You're jumping on my ship.
Let's see how this works when it's me changing my mind instead of the other way around.
I'll never let go, Ashton. I'll never let go before we hit that iceberg.
You know though, if Elias wins, I'm never doing this again.
I know. And it would be just what I deserve.
All right, I'm switching. We're both officially picking Seth to retain. God, I can't believe this is happening, but it is happening.
Yeah, that switch at the last second got me hyped as fuck. I'm like, oh,
it was like the ultimate face turn for me, right?
I know. I'm like, oh shit, it's happening. Everyone break out the Coke.
It's like that moment. It's like that moment in 22 Jump Street when he realizes that his partner's been sleeping with their boss's daughter the whole time.
Yeah. Oh God.
I don't even remember their names from the show, but yeah, that's like that moment. Like, oh shit, it's happening.
Yeah.
All right, so Seth to retain. Next up, though, this is where things get really interesting because now we're getting into matches with more than one potential winner. We've got 2 of them on this show. Women's Money in the Bank ladder match. We have got, I'm going to see if I can list them all off the top of my head. On Raw, Sasha Banks, Alexa Bliss, Natalya, and Ember Moon. On SmackDown, Charlotte, Naomi, Becky Lynch, and Lana representing SmackDown over there. And those are the 8 women that are in this match. So what I want us to do, John, is I want us to first make our pick, and then I want us to kind of go down the list as far as who we want to win and who we think is most likely to win from 1 to 8.
Okay, but when we make our pick, we can still do the rationale for that, right?
Absolutely, dude. Do what you want. It's our fucking show. What do you think I'm going to be like? No, you're not allowed?
You're so right. I should do drugs on this show more. But regardless.
I mean, if you don't get caught, no stopping you.
I know, right? God, I love Twit. Wow. But no, dude, I got to be honest, man. And this is going to be the, hey, guys, let's all get on John's bus of crazy logic to where he gets.
Oh, boy.
Oh, yeah. See, you know what's happening. You know what's happening. Because originally, it's not that bad, I promise. Originally, I'm still hearing you groaning over there. What the hell?
It's my Tina groan, okay?
You really drew it out, like they're drawing out Roman's push.
That's the point. Did you forget Bob's Burgers already?
No. I mean, it was very good, but I just felt like there would have been a better time for it, but I digress. So,
digress.
Wow. So, up until recently, I've been thinking that Natalya is going to win this, but I've been thinking back to like Money in the Bank logic even as early as last year. And people, and by people I should say like the WWE machine, management, whatever, they love putting the briefcases on people that lose a lot. Like Baron became Money in the Bank when he lost in quick fashion to Sami Zayn. That we laughed about. And Carmella, I don't remember her winning much either up until like winning the case. And so Natalya's been winning a lot. Even that fatal 4-way when she was injured, she won that match. So like, I don't think Natalya's winning this. So I'm going to take her out first. Now, I look at the remaining women. And so, really, if I really wanted to see who the threats were, I would have to see who's been losing the most. Well, Charlotte lost to Carmella at Backlash. She lost to Becky, although she did qualify. So, I mean, that would have to be the one win that we give everybody, their qualifying match. Who won the big 8-woman tag? Well, I'm guessing it was the Money in the Bank women's competitors because they weren't even against each other. That was just whatever. God, Sasha. I want to go with Sasha, but I'm trying to think like how much she's won or lost leading up to this. I feel like she's lost more than she's won. So I'll kind of put Sasha in an upper tier. Ember Moon just got here. I feel like she's done fairly well. Alexa, I mean, obviously she lost the championship. That's why she was even in this kind of race to begin with. Becky's always been a struggle. Becky, it would really feel great on Becky given everything. And I will say too, dude, and I think we should talk about this. Do you think there's any, because I think if he was to return, it would be for this match, oddly enough. Do you see any credence in the rumors of Ellsworth returning at Money in the Bank?
I mean, it seems inevitable, doesn't it?
It does. And again, I do think it would be for this match.
I don't think it would be for this match.
Do you think, actually, no, I'll save that question for later. Remind me that I have to ask you something. I don't want to ask you here. I want to ask you when it's more appropriate.
Okay.
So I'm really just trying to thin the herd. Let me ask you, because maybe you've kept better track of this than me. I don't know. Who do you think has lost the most leading up to this on the women's side? Like, has it been a Raw superstar or has it been SmackDown? Because maybe Lana? I don't feel like Lana.
No, Lana's done reasonably well, I would say. Shit. Who's a heel on the SmackDown? Probably fucking Alexa, believe it or not.
Yeah. Yeah, like
Alexa, I think would be I think she's lost more than anyone going into it.
Then I hate to say it, I almost have to give it to Alexa then by that logic. I feel like if she's lost the most, I'd have to fucking give it to her. Who else is in Money in the Bank? Maybe I don't have to go there because I can tell you right now that my number one for most wanting it to win is Sasha. I'd love to see her with that fucking briefcase. Behind her, Becky, and then behind her, Ember Moon. And honestly, you could even change around Becky and Sasha because I loved Becky's promo on the Go Home SmackDown. Like,
So here's what I want to do. Here's what I want to do. Since Backlash, we'll just go since Backlash because that's the last pay-per-view. Alexa has been in 4 matches. She has won a triple threat, also involving Bayley and Mickie James. She lost straight up to Ember Moon, 1-on-1 via pinfall. She was on the winning team of a 6-woman tag match against the Riot Squad that also included Ember and Sasha because she walked out and then Ember and Sasha handled their shit. And then she was not the winner of the 4-way on Monday. So she only directly lost once, and that was to Ember Moon. And she has only directly won once, and that was in the triple threat with Bayley and Mickie James. So I don't really know if it's safe to say that she has the worst record. It's just I feel like they've kind of been keeping her quiet since Backlash for whatever reason.
Yeah, it's an interesting way of putting it, but I could certainly agree with that. Yeah, I'm really
I'll tell you who's probably won the most though is probably Ember Moon, because Ember has won every match she's been in except for the Fatal 4-Way on Monday, and that was obviously Natalya.
Yeah. And see, Natalya, I feel like, has been winning a lot.
Sasha's been on the losing end of a lot, too. Sasha's been on the losing end of a lot of matches. Sasha, on the post-Backlash Raw, she lost a triple threat. She was on, she's only won, or no, you know what? She hasn't. That's the thing, man. I'm feeling like no one's really lost a ton, and Natalya's won fucking everything. She's won, or she lost one match to Nia Jax, and that was, you know, two episodes of Raw ago. So I don't know if anyone on Raw would really fit the bill of losing the most. So I don't know.
You know what? Like, when I think about struggle then, because like I know Sasha struggled recently against the Riot Squad. She lost her initial qualifying match, and she won the Last Chance Gauntlet. So she pretty much gave herself CPR. I think because Sasha struggled the most to get here, I'm going to pick Sasha to win. I think Sasha's going to win this ladder match. And I'll say then that, like, she is the one I want to win the most, but I really am just trying to go by the logic of, you know, whoever loses the most, ironically, has the most steam saved up to scale that ladder and get the briefcase. Becky behind her, Ember behind her, so that's 3. Let me think who else.
Dude, it's crazy too, because I think I've seen every single woman's Pro Fight DB and looked at their last like 4 or 5 matches just since Backlash. I don't think anyone has a losing record. I'm pretty sure everybody has a 500 or better record.
Yeah, dude, that's nuts.
Right? That's crazy, isn't it? And the thing is, like, I think the reason Bliss stands out is because the only reason her team won that match was because she walked out and like she played up the injury and stuff.
Right.
So I forgot that she technically won that match. I felt like that was like a losing effort by her because she took the L in life, but she didn't take the L in the match, you know?
Right, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
But
yeah.
Charlotte, unfortunately, since losing to Carmella, she beat Peyton Royce to get into Money in the Bank, but she did tap out to Becky.
Yeah, fuck.
And then she and the other 3 women on SmackDown plus Asuka were on the winning side of that 10-woman tag on Monday or on Tuesday.
Right.
As far as singles matches go, since Backlash, Charlotte is 1-1 in singles action.
Interesting.
Lana is 2-0 since Backlash in singles action.
Right.
Naomi is 1-1 in singles. Oh, actually, you know what? She's 1-0 in singles because the other one, it was a draw. It was the dance off, and that wasn't even a fucking match. So Naomi would be 1-0 in singles. Becky Lynch is 2-1. She did lose to Mandy Rose, but then she picked up wins in the triple threat involving the other 2 members of Absolution and then against Charlotte. So yeah, man, as far as singles goes, we really don't have any really weak points. Like, I guess if we're only looking at singles matches, Alexa would be 0-1 because the match that she won that was not singles was a triple threat, where it was her, Bayley, and Mickey. And that was a month ago at this point. So her most recent singles match was a loss to Ember Moon. And then she didn't win the Fatal 4-Way, which also involved Ember, Sasha, and Natalya. Obviously, you remember Natalya won that. Who did Natalya tap out in that match?
I'm trying to remember. I'm thinking, was it a, because you're Natalya. I want to say
someone in chat probably got to say it.
Yeah, it was Alexa.
It was Alexa.
Yeah, it was Alexa. She's right. Yeah.
And now everyone's saying it because of the delay. But yeah, so Natalya tapped out Alexa. So Sasha and Ember were kind of neutral parties. Natalya won. Alexa got tapped out. So Alexa, if you count that as if you count matches that aren't tag matches, Alexa would be 1-2 since Backlash. So she's the only one with a losing record then.
Damn. Well, then I guess by my own logic, I have to go with Alexa.
So you're literally just saying, like, fuck logic. You're just going to go with whoever has the worst record since Backlash.
Yeah, I'm going to go with whoever's been losing the most because that's how they're just going to bounce back and hold on to that briefcase and maybe get booked somewhat better, but also maybe not because WWE seems really non-committal on that too. So, because really to me, it comes down to either Alexa, Sasha, or Charlotte. I say Charlotte because she tapped out to somebody. And if you really wanted to like bounce her back up, what better way than giving her the case? Sasha, because again, she gave herself CPR. And I felt like she was losing a lot more than apparently she did, you know, empirically, according to those records. And then Alexa, because, like, I think they're scared to let her do anything else besides, like, being the main event, like, of her division, I mean. So, yeah, it really comes down to those 3. She has the worst record, huh? That really sucks. I was hoping Sasha would have the worst record so I could go with that theory and feel good about it.
Well, again, though, I want to emphasize that's only counting non-tag matches. If we would count non-tag matches for everyone else, it might be a little bit different because, like, Natalya would be 2-1 because she has 2 wins in Fatal 4-Ways and she lost to Nia Jax straight up. Sasha Banks would be, I want to say 1-1. Yeah, 1-2. Yeah, Sasha would be 1-2 because she submitted, or she won against Ruby Riott and lost a triple threat on the day after Backlash and lost the Fatal 4-Way this past week. So Sasha would be 1-2 as well as Natalya. So she would still have the same record as Natalya. Like, I don't know, man. I don't think that that's the best way to pick a winner, honestly. Just saying, like, whoever has the worst record, because really the only person going into Money in the Bank that has momentum is Natalya.
And I don't think she's going to win, though, because I think she has too much momentum going into this, personally. Like,
well, then,
I'm convinced
since you've been talking about this and trying to figure out your own pick for a while, I'll just say, fuck it. I'm picking Natalya to win. I think Natalya is going to win this, and I think that is going to cause a real issue with her and Ronda Rousey, because Ronda wants the women's title. Natalya has a way to get it. You know what I mean?
Right. You know what? I've been hemming and hawing a lot. I don't think it's going to... That is really the principle that I should start with. I don't think it's going to be Natalya because she has a lot of momentum. I do still think it's going to be a Raw woman, so that'll be my second step. So that leaves it with Ember, Sasha, and God, who else? Bliss, thank you. Ember, Sasha, and Bliss. I don't think it's going to Ember. I think it'd be interesting if it went with Ember. Alexa, I like her more than most. You know that, but I will be the first to say she has been way overexposed. They need to dial it back a bit with her and give her something else to do.
Yeah, and as far as Ember goes, she actually has the strongest record in non-tag matches since Backlash. She's 2-1.
Yeah. So I'm not going to say Alexa, which leaves, I will go with Sasha to win. I don't think Natalya is winning. I hope Bliss doesn't win. I would like if Ember won. I think, again, that would be intriguing, but I think it's going to go with Sasha. So you're going Natalya. I'm going Sasha. If it wasn't Sasha, honestly, I might have even diverted altogether and gone with Charlotte, because it scares me that she tapped out to somebody. Like, even if it is Becky, like, it's Charlotte. And you know they're going to probably want to bounce back and make her recover in some major way. I just don't know if the ladder match is it. So I apologize for all the hemming and hawing. This is a very difficult match. Hopefully the men's is a bit easier, but I am going to lock in Sasha as my pick.
Yeah, dude, I'll tell you straight up. The only reason that I'm not picking Charlotte to win this is because I convinced myself that she's winning the Women's Royal Rumble in 2019.
And you know what? I could agree with that. I know that's jumping there because we're not even anywhere near close to Royal Rumble preview and predictions, but I'll say until we see otherwise, which very well could happen, I agree with you on that. I think she's going to win it too. So you and I are right there.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, okay. So we made our official picks. Who do you most want to win this Money in the Bank?
Like either like.
And by the way, I also want to add, they have made it very specific that the winner of this Money in the Bank can only challenge the champion on their brand. There will be no cross-brand cashing in with this Money in the Bank, even though everyone's going for it. They have specifically said on commentary, the person who wins has the opportunity to challenge the champion on their brand for their women's championship. So don't do that bullshit where Alexa wins and you're like, oh, she's going to cash in on Carmella or Asuka, depending on who wins that match. Like, no cross-brand bullshit. You cash in on the champion of your brand. So if you pick Sasha, she has to cash in on the Raw Women's Champion. If you pick, in my case, Natalya, she has to cash in on the Raw Women's Champion. So you can't say Charlotte wins it and then cashes in on the winner of Ronda versus Nia. Like, that can't happen. There's no cross-brand cashing in.
Right.
I'm not even saying that for you. I know you're probably already aware of that. I'm saying that for everybody that's like, oh, that not necessarily, but they will be, because they were all like, oh, Carmella's going to cash in on Alexa Bliss.
Yeah. Oh, God, I hated all that shit last year.
That was earlier this year, dude. That was not that long ago.
Yeah, it really wasn't.
It was like 3 months ago, if that.
I think I just suppressed it very successfully.
I know, right? And I can't even blame you. It was...
As far as the ranking system, you know what? As much as I love Sasha, Becky really won me over with her promo at the Women's Money in the Bank Summit on SmackDown. Becky is so good. If she won, I'd be fucking thrilled for her. So I'll go Becky 1, Sasha 2, Ember 3. I wish the icon. Oh, geez, Rick. Alexa 4, No, actually, no. Naomi 4. Naomi 4. Excuse me. Alexa 5. Fucking who else? Alexa 5. Who are the other three? I keep blanking out on people.
Just run down who you've listed already.
Becky was 1. Sasha 2.
Sasha 2.
Ember 3. Naomi 4.
Naomi
Alexa
and then
5.
Bliss. Okay, so the 3 that are remaining are the 3 blondes: Charlotte, Natalya, Lana.
Okay, Lana, Charlotte, Natalya.
Okay. For me, as far as my want, the number one that I want to win is absolutely 100% Becky Lynch. If she wins, I will be ecstatic. That's perfect to me. Number 2, I would say Sasha. So I'm kind of right with you there because I think Sasha winning the briefcase gives her an opportunity to turn heel, which is something that I know you and I both want. And I don't think Becky would need to turn heel in order to cash in. I think she would do it like the honorable, like the RVD way, where she's like, oh, I want the champion. Maybe she would even do it to guarantee herself a women's championship match at SummerSlam or at WrestleMania, just because she's been so deprived of the big stage her entire career that she finally just uses this as a way to guarantee it for herself. I love that idea. So Becky's 1, Sasha's 2. But then here's where things might get a little trippy for you guys. Number 3 on my want list is Naomi, because I flat out do not want Ember Moon or Alexa Bliss to win. And the reason behind Ember Moon is because I think Nia or Ronda, no matter who has the title coming out of this show, if Ember Moon or Alexa Bliss wins Money in the Bank and tries to cash in, I think they would lose. So they're going to be my 7 and 8, not even respectively. I'll put Ember dead last. Ember is the person that I want to actually no. Charlotte is dead last. Ember is 7. Alexa is 6. So that's my 6, 7, 8. 5 would have to be Natalya because I know there's a built-in story there for her and Ronda. And then, I already told you 1 and 2, and then 3 would be Becky, Sasha, and Naomi. And then the only person left then would be Lana, who would just slot in at 4 because who cares? It's SmackDown. SmackDown Women's Division is wide open. And Lana's entertaining, whether you want to admit to it or not. Even though she's not great in the ring, she's still a good talker. She's got charisma, whatever. So Lana would be at 4. And the reasoning is really just because I want the women's the women's briefcase to be on SmackDown, because I feel like the SmackDown Women's Division is more wide open and more interesting. Whereas on Raw, it really does feel like unless you have a built-in story with Nia or Ronda, you're fucked.
Yeah, I see that logic. We gave our lists. I think we can move on to the next matchup here.
All right, man. Well, our next matchup is very much relevant to what we were just talking about because it is Carmella versus Asuka. And before you even get into it, I'm just going to say I think this is the match James Ellsworth shows up on. If I remember, I don't know, did Carmella ever kick him to the curb or did he just disappear?
I think she subtly kicked him to the curb. Here's the thing. There are 2 things to make me say that. One was explicit, one was more subtle. Because remember, when James Ellsworth lost to Becky Lynch, Carmella pretty much super kicked him. And that was like the last interaction they had together. And then when she cashed in successfully, she's like, I only have one person to thank for this, me. Ellsworth was edited out of all the footage when she played the video package. So she's pretty much made him a distant memory. So,
oh man, that makes this a lot harder because I really wanted to just say Ellsworth is going to help Carmella win. That would make so much sense. There's heavy speculation, if not full-blown confirmation, that Ellsworth is going to be at this show. I don't think he's going to be in the ladder match, though. I think this is going to be the match he shows up in. It's just a matter of whether he helps Carmella win or helps to force Carmella to lose and kind of screws her over. Really, Ellsworth screwing Carmella over would be the ultimate full circle story because he's the reason she won Money in the Bank in the first case. Money in the Bank is the reason she's champion in the first place. Ellsworth taking the championship off of her would be him redeeming his character. So from a storytelling perspective, I have to pick Asuka to win this match, even though I would prefer for them to just forget that Carmella ever kicked Ellsworth to the side in the first place and just put them back together and have him help her win and have them just continue to be the power couple that they were before she kicked him to the curb. That's my preference. This is the first time ever that I actually want WWE to just ignore their own writing and forget that they did something in story. But if we're going with an actual storyline here, which they have kind of built up, it makes the most sense in the world for Ellsworth to cost Carmella the title. So from an objective, logical standpoint, I am picking Asuka to win.
Okay. Let me just start out by saying that I pretty much agree with everything you said, save the prediction. I'm not saying I disagree with it. I just want a bit more of a preamble before I get right into that.
Right, yeah.
What I hate about your logic and it being as strong as it is, I feel like Asuka's the big loser here. I don't like the idea of her needing anyone's help to beat somebody else. It's right. Asuka, right? Like it feels wrong. Unless she would turn heel, it feels wrong that she would call upon anybody to help her. That said, you know, see, and I like Ellsworth. I don't want to chew the guy out. He seems like a really good dude. It just like, of course, he had to return on this match. Allegedly, he may not have anything to do with this shit. I could see him helping Carmella only because their relationship was weird anyway. So maybe he would come back and be like, you know, I know you super kicked me last time we met, but I had a lot of time to think about it. I know I deserved it. I just really wanted to help you and make things right. And
yeah, Carmella, that would be so good, dude. That's the thing. Like, I was so like destroyed when I heard that he was let go because he was like so key to me liking the Carmella act and having Carmella just have this heater. Like, it's so good. And they just ended it. And like, you end the best thing about the gimmick and then you put the title on her anyway. And now everyone hates Carmella for the wrong reasons. Like,
thank you. Because if you weren't going to say anything, I just wanted to take a second and say, I feel bad for Carmella. I feel like a lot of people are being unnecessarily harsh on her. I'm actually enjoying her run right now as women's champion. I can tell she's having fun with it. I can tell she's relishing every segment. Like, just the idea that you give a shit about being a champion resonates with me. And yeah, they did handicap her a bit by taking away Ellsworth, which it boggles the mind how a company can so actively work against some of its talent sometimes. It really does. But if they were to be like, you know what? Carmella's doing fine, but Ellsworth could really pick this up a notch, which I would wholeheartedly agree. Then, yeah, he comes back and he's like, you know, again, last time we were together, you super kicked me. I understand that you don't like losers. I'm going to help you, you know, stay a winner as much as I can. Of course, Carmella jumps at the opportunity because, yes, I have somebody watching my back when Paige constantly wants to throw these bombs in my direction. So, and plus it protects Asuka because, and I have like the story here on the heel Carmella's end, Asuka isn't intimidating anymore. Asuka, since she lost to Charlotte, she's just human. She's just another woman in the locker room. You know, I could see where, like, maybe Asuka has the Asuka lock or she gets that spin kick and maybe Ellsworth helps get a limb on a bottom rope or something. And then, like, he's just distracting Asuka and we've got a roll-up of death or something like that. You know, I think it protects Asuka, gives Carmella some great heat, not as much heat as if she initially ended the streak, which I still think was a missed opportunity. I know it's a more controversial take, and we keep her run going. And I think with Ellsworth by her side, you give her run a shit ton more mileage than what it has on her own. And that's nothing to say about her talent level. I just mean in terms of believability of her retaining up to a certain point. Now I could see her holding the belt even longer with somebody watching her back. So I'm going to go Ellsworth helps Carmella because he's so pathetic and he's kind of perverse that he likes how he treats her. He's going to help her. They're going to reconcile. And hopefully it gets another good 4 or 5 months out of her reign. So Carmella.
I was going to say, you know, my biggest problem, though, is that would require for Ellsworth to stick around and it would require WWE to bring him back on a closer to permanent basis, wouldn't it?
I think it would. And that's what's confused me because when they said like return, do they have a deal or did they just want to use him for a one-off? That's what's really
I was under the impression that they were just going to use him for a one-off, which is why I'm picking Asuka because I think he's going to show up, make Carmella, you know, lose her thought process and end up getting distracted and get kicked in the head or something. Asuka wins. Ellsworth effectively sort of ends his character arc in the WWE and he can walk off.
See, and it would be so good if it was anybody but Asuka. Like, I just hate how this is going to make her character look.
Yeah, how much better would this be if it was one of the Iconics?
Or, dude, how much better and how much more poetic would it be if it was fucking Becky, right?
Yeah,
Who, like, fucking... he screwed originally out of the Money in the Bank.
Right. Oh my God, you are so freaking right.
Right? Like, why Asuka?
Why Asuka? Yes, exactly.
Why do you gotta do her like this? Like, I'm a fan of Asuka.
The thing, though, I don't even see it as them doing Asuka dirty. I see it more as them doing Becky dirty. How is Becky Lynch not the one to take the title off of Carmella? And this is one of those situations where it pisses me off that WWE doesn't pay attention to their own goddamn stories, because from a storytelling perspective, Becky Lynch beating Carmella with the help of James Ellsworth is the perfect 360 story.
Yeah, God.
That's a story with a beginning, middle, and end, WWE. What are you doing?
And then Becky just looks at Ellsworth. Ellsworth looks at Becky. They just give that small nod of mutual recognition, and Ellsworth
gave a hug because she was creeped out to even be touched by him before.
Yeah, like, it writes itself. But no, Asuka, who, again, the story they have, it's a good story. Ellsworth just muddies the waters. He doesn't add to that. Oh, this infuriates me now. God damn it. Carmella retained.
I was angry about the Raw Women's title match, and now you got me seething about the SmackDown Women's title.
I sincerely apologize. That was not my intention, but you could see the missed opportunities here.
Yeah, it's all over the place.
This whole thing can suck custard.
Custard is delicious, okay?
Yeah, like Nathan Cruz's hair, all right? Recognize.
God, I really wish you wouldn't have cut that off.
Carmella to retain via Ellsworth, because I care more about protecting Asuka than making her even weaker than WWE's already tried to, like, make her look via tapping out to fucking Charlotte. So there you go. I just realized now why Ellsworth, and again, I like the dude. I'm not angry at Ellsworth. His involvement, though, potentially, because here's where I'll really be angry. Like, oh my God, we hemmed and hawed for how many minutes for fucking nothing? But like, God, he complicates so much shit. God damn it.
The reason, though, that it's all but confirmed is because he canceled an indie date for this weekend. Like, why else would you do that unless WWE came across?
He's working the marks.
And we're falling for it. What does that make us?
Oh, God. I thought I was better than everyone else. Oh, it's another pile for the complex. Yeah, I don't fucking know. Fuck this match. Fuck that Becky Lynch still isn't getting a push in 2018.
Dude, how? Oh, my God. So, I was even pointing out in chat that you can go even further back and realize how horribly fucked up this storyline was, because they could have executed this so incredibly flawlessly, right? So you have Asuka beat Charlotte at WrestleMania.
Right.
You have the Iconics beat the hell out of Asuka the following Tuesday. You have Carmella cash in on Asuka, beat the streak with the cash in. That way, Asuka maintains her credibility despite having lost. She never taps out. And then Carmella successfully finds a way to retain the title against Asuka on Backlash. And then we get Carmella Becky on this show, where Ellsworth returns to help Becky finally end Carmella's reign of hell, because Carmella only ever had that title in the first place because she had the Money in the Bank that Ellsworth won for her in the first place. It's so good of a story. It's full circle. It's perfect. And they missed every possible turn that they could have done.
You failed.
Fucking Road Dog, man. Fucking Road Dog.
There was my prediction. What? Oh yeah, you're predicting that Asuka wins because of Ellsworth.
You know what I kind of see this as, though, now that I think about it, and even more of a reason why I'm picking Asuka is because I feel like this is a new regime of writers, because SmackDown, the quality of SmackDown has gone up significantly since the shakeup. I think that there are new writers on SmackDown, and I think that because before the shakeup even happened, Carmella became champion, and they needed to get Charlotte's rematch clause out of the way. So I think this is SmackDown's writers being like, you know what, guys, I know that there are probably stories to tell here, but we really want Asuka to be our champion, so they're rushing it, and they're trying to get that title on Asuka as quickly as possible, even if it does ignore some kind of greater, more important stories. And then that's when, in their minds, that's when they can really start writing what they want to write.
God, see, all the more reason why people should just suck less to begin with.
I blame the Road Dog for all of this.
All right, I guess we can move on, man. This match just made me so angry, and I didn't even expect it.
Just think, you're on the SmackDown. Like, you end up getting shaken up over to the SmackDown writing team, and Road Dogg gets shaken up over to the Raw writing team. Before you show up on SmackDown, the Road Dogg has cut your legs out from underneath you, because the Road Dogg ended Asuka's streak for you and then put the title on Carmella for you the week before you got control of the reins. And now you show up and you have no streak to book around. Carmella is your champion. Charlotte needs to get surgery for a busted breast implant. What do you do at that point? Like, you need to get the Charlotte rematch out of the way. And you, if you're these SmackDown writers, you want Asuka to be your champion. So you need to get the Charlotte rematch out of the way, and then you want to put the title on Asuka. And like, even though it doesn't necessarily fit any specific narratives that really would enhance the story, you just want Asuka to be your champion, even though she doesn't have a streak anymore, because thanks, Road Dogg, fucking asshole.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. All right, let's move on. Fuck this match.
Oh yeah. Let's move on, because the next match is Nia Jax and Ronda Rousey.
And again, I'm gonna go the more controversial route. I think Nia Jax is retaining here.
That's not controversial. That's not controversial at all. That's only controversial if you're really close friends with me, which you are. So I'm sorry for kind of ruining your view of this match.
What? Like, I didn't know where this is all going, and then it's like, it's not controversial unless you're in proximity to me.
Yeah, it's really not controversial, though. The only reason you even think it's controversial is because I've been saying how obvious it is that Ronda's winning, and most people disagree with me.
And admittedly, like, I feel like you do hold the more conventional view. Like, I would think a lot of people think that Ronda's gonna freaking win here.
Well, and the way that you protect that is by doing what I'm predicting, and that's having Ronda win, and then Natalya cashes in on her and wins. So we get the Ronda Rousey Women's Championship win out of the way very early, but then we ruin it with Natalya, and by ruin it, I mean really save it, because it prevents Ronda from getting exposed by having to be on more pay-per-views, having to defend the title more often, having to, you know, cut promos more regular, that kind of stuff. Now, Natalya isn't particularly good at any of that stuff either, but her being champion will definitely save Ronda from being exposed for the kind of mediocre entertainer that she is.
And see, like, I feel like Nia is going to retain largely because of the segment that they had on the Raw fucking Go Home show, where her and Nia had a bit of physicality, and Ronda ends up getting.
But you're focusing so much on who looked weak going into the show. But I also got to remind you that there was research done, and whoever stands tall on the Go Home show has about a 50-50 chance of winning at the pay-per-view. Like, there is no definitive correlation between standing tall and losing on the pay-per-view. Like, that's not a thing. I know we tell ourselves it's a thing. It's kind of a narrative that we've built in, because when we call it and it happens, we can say, ha, told you it was going to happen. But when we call it and it doesn't happen, we don't really remember it that much. But it's like a 50-50 thing. It's literally just a coin flip. It doesn't really matter.
I mean, I understand that, but I feel like Ronda's been kind of bitching Nia out here, because, I mean, yeah, Nia took out Natalya, but like, and here's another thing. I think
Ronda is going to bitch her out again on Sunday. I think she's going to win in relatively quick fashion. But because the match isn't going to go long, Nia's going to be pissed. She's going to beat Ronda down, and Natalya's going to cash in. And they could even make it seem like Natalya's coming out to save Ronda. Like, Natalya can storm the ring, chase Nia off, then cash in on Ronda and win the title. I could see that happening. And I also wanted to say, before we even get past the discussion here, I also think this match is main eventing the show. I think that Ronda Nia will be the match that closes the show. And then the last image that we see is Natalya holding the title up above her head, yaying.
So, yeah. And I understand that. I don't know. Something just feels off to me. I feel like Nia hasn't really looked this good in the view at all. Oh, and by the way, I said that there were matches that angered me. The Carmella Asuka thing wasn't even meant to turn into like a quasi rant. This match, like, in terms of the build, fucking sucks.
Yes.
Like, there is no defined heel. Like, I don't even know what these people are supposed to represent.
Nia is clearly meant to be the heel here. Nia is the heel who is talking shit and basically bullying Ronda. But Ronda is like the badass hero that won't allow herself to get bullied.
But here's the thing, though, dude. Like, I can see where you're coming from. I just wish that WWE wasn't so non-committal about it, because even when she took Natalya out, she was like, "Oh, I just want to check on her," whatever. Like, she didn't like prolong the beatdown. You know, it was Ronda that was like, "Oh, hey, get out of here! I got this." And then, like, even in the back, and I was like, "Look, I just want to know if she's okay." And then I was like, "Look, Nia, I know you didn't mean to hurt me. It's fine." And then they just went back to glaring at each other. I don't, even though I feel like Nia has been more heel-ish at the end of the day.
How long ago was this? Was this past Monday that I didn't see it?
No, this was during the initial like Nia versus Natalya matchup where the whole angle took place.
So this was literally like the night after Backlash, right?
Right, yeah.
Right. So that was long enough ago that Nia has turned heel since then.
But what has she done since then, though? Because I don't remember. Because then again, maybe I've
literally cutting a promo on Ronda in a bullying fashion while physically bullying a jobber in the ring. If that's not heel, I don't know what it is.
Wasn't that before the Natalya match, though?
No, it was not. That was only like 2 weeks ago, dude.
Are you? All right, I'm going to take your word for it, because admittedly, I do check out a Raw a lot because it's just so mass. So maybe my events are getting scrambled. But I can tell you straight up, Nia Jax versus that random jobber on Raw was like, oh shit, it's not even on Pro Fight DB. Like, they don't even have it on Pro Fight DB. But I'm 99% sure that it was 2 or 3 weeks ago. And the big Nia Natalya thing, I'm pretty sure, wasn't that when Nia beat down Natalya and then they were backstage? I'm pretty sure that was like still in May. Like, that was like May right after Backlash, wasn't it? I mean, I think so. I wish we could get our date. Hold on a second here. Because, like, I feel like
so bad.
Well, no, because, like, I feel like Nia hasn't really been a clearly defined heel from what I recollect. But then again, as you know, there are times I just don't give a fuck about Raw. So maybe I've missed segments that have been like, oh, she's this. Because the last segment I saw with the two of them was the go-home one where Ronda made Nia tap out to the armbar. And I feel like the match that you're talking about, because I remember the match that you're talking about, I think it was a local competitor that she was beating down, and she was explaining to Ronda, because Ronda was on commentary, like how this is going to be her, and like that Nia pretty much wanted to show Ronda what she was in for. But I feel like the Natalya match happened after the fact, and I think Paul even corroborated what I was saying. Yeah, Asia's saying 2 weeks ago was when Nia versus Natty happened.
That was the one-on-one match, though. That's not the same show that you're talking about where they were like backstage and Nia was like apologetic, was it?
Yeah, it was. That's what I'm saying. Like, it all happened on the same show.
Oh my God. Fuck this fucking show. Jesus.
Dude, like, I'm not trying to irritate it. Like, I'm just making my case that, like, it's so bad.
I think this is a case where my brain rearranged the order of things because it made more sense that way.
Yeah, Jarveris is saying Nia versus Natty happened a week after the jobber match, and Asia is defending me here. Yeah, it was. It all happened on the same day.
What's happening?
Dude, that's what I'm saying, man. That is what I'm fucking saying to you. Like, this is so bad. This is so bad. See, this is where my rant was coming from. Like, it's not enough Ronda Rousey going for her first women's championship. Like, because you had Nia be a face when she won it. And yeah, it was cool that like a bigger character thing, win whatever. But like for this,
that was hard as hell.
Just like their writing.
Oh yes.
And so like I could understand if it was really short-lived for the sake of giving Ronda like the most possible, but it hasn't been. It fucking hasn't been. And then you have Ronda tapping her out, which honestly, fuck that too, because that should be the pay-per-view image. Like. And see, this is why I didn't even really care about this match to begin with. Because, again, WWE wants us to forget, like, the history. Asuka's already had this story. But, like, I guess what makes this intriguing is, like, Ronda doesn't have the experience of Asuka, which you could get away with. But then you have her tap out Nia on the go-home show. So, like, where's the ambiguity? Where's the questioning of, can she do it? Do they not know what a babyface is anymore? Like,
yes, that's correct, yes.
I fucking hate this. Oh God, I could get really graphic with my insults, but I won't. This is so fucking bad. Like, you could have told a fascinating story, which I feel like when you're coming in, and I feel like Ronda genuinely wants to be here and, all that shit. And, I'm not trying to hate on her, but fuck me. Like, you should be making her as sympathetic as possible. Like, Ronda doesn't have the experience. Nia, you should bring up that Nia's a fucking legacy. Yeah, I have nepotism. Yeah, I grew up in this shit. And, like, you should make that contrast. Like, can Ronda do it? You know, because Nia could even say, look, I know that people have tapped me out before, you know, Becky Lynch, Asuka, but they were wrestlers.
Wow.
Ronda's just an outsider. She doesn't have the experience. And you can play that up.
That's the thing, though, is that, like, I'm sorry, but being a wrestler and being able to tap somebody out shouldn't make you more credible than an MMA fighter who does submissions. Like, you're an MMA fighter, you do the shit for real. Like, that's.
But I mean, and I get that, but
that's that on television. But
I feel like WWE is very protective of their world, or they should be. And like, it looks so bad. And when I saw Nia tap out, because here's how I originally thought it was going to go. Because Ronda was
tapped out so fast too. Like, Ronda didn't even have it locked in properly, and she
didn't. That's why, like, originally when that segment happened, I thought Nia was gonna like power bomb her, and just a power bomb, because you don't want Ronda, I guess, taking too many bumps at like one time, standing over her, holding the belt up, and I'm like, great, you know, like, that does it. But then when she tapped her out, not only did it give me a fucking existential crisis going into this fucking show, this preview of predictions, but I'm like, holy fuck, you don't know how a baby is supposed to work. I get that Ronda, you want her to be a badass, but what's so wrong with a badass struggling too? Like, you know, not everything came easy to Stone Cold. I mean, fucking hell, one of his greatest rivalries was Triple H. You think Triple H made his life fucking easy? Like, this shouldn't be easy for Ronda. And I feel like they made it look so easy for her because she fucking tapped out Nia Jax on the go-home show. So, like, I don't know. Could Ronda win? Of course she could. But I'm like, man, you have bitched Nia out. You haven't given her any kind of direction because she's talking this shit. And then you don't even save it for the pay-per-view because you just showed like a preview on the go-home show. I think Nia's fucking winning because you have bitched her out bad and she fucking needs something. And if she doesn't win, not that I give a fuck because fuck Nia Jax, but like, you don't give a fuck about her either. So like, what message do you want to send? I'm going with Nia retaining. Fuck this match, dude. Jesus Christ.
Well, like I said, I do think this match is main eventing. I think Ronda's winning, and I think Natalya's cashing in on her and closing the night out as champ. And you know what? There's even a chance that Ronda wins and Nia backs down and Ronda just stands tall to close the show, because that would be a very WWE thing to do. And Natalya has the Money in the Bank briefcase and there's just that tension and they slow play it. I think that is entirely possible as well. But just for now, because I've been calling it for so long, I'm going to stick to it. Nia loses the belt, drops it to Ronda. Natalya cashes in, becomes champion. So,
can I just tack on one more thing before we move on?
Sure.
Like, I would love, now this is purely fantasy booking, and I just want to get that out of the way. I would love if Nia retains. She is riding so high off of beating Ronda freaking Rousey. That's her catalyst to turn heel because she's got her head up her own ass. And then she loses to fucking Bayley because they have history in NXT, and Bayley has a history of toppling the giant. And then Sasha cashes in on her because I picked Sasha to win Money in the Bank earlier.
Oh,
so that's how I bring Money in the Bank back around.
I love you so much for thinking that that's possible. I really wish I bought into it, man. I really do.
I feel like that's kind of backhanded, but thank you, I guess.
No, it's not even backhanded. It's just our brains work differently, that you live in a world where you think that's possible. I live in a world where I think that Bayley's character is dead.
Yeah, you're not even wrong. Fuck me. Dude, I don't fucking know. Like, blame WWE, because we don't even have any clearly defined people in this fucking shit. And I'm trying to give some clear definitions here. God, can you give me the brain tumor that you said went into remission? I'll take it and I'll stick my head in the fucking microwave. I'll accelerate the growth. Oh my God.
I don't know if we need them. I think WWE's writers have enough brain tumors amongst them for everyone.
Oh God. All right, what's our next match? Am I gonna hate it? No, it's men's Money in the Bank, apparently.
Yeah, that you're not gonna hate either. Well, you know, I shouldn't say either, but you're definitely not gonna hate this next one, because we do have our men's Money in the Bank ladder match. We have got Braun Strowman, Finn Balor, Bobby Roode, and Kevin Owens representing Raw, and then The Miz, Rusev, Samoa Joe, and a member of the New Day, which has still not been revealed, representing SmackDown. So what do you think, man?
Oh, I'm going first on this? Okay.
Would you rather not? I can go first if you want.
No, I'm still angry enough that I could probably power through this. I'm excited for this. God, I'm conflicted though again. Because, like, here's another trope, right? And I actually feel like this trope's more credible than the losing one. I feel like whoever really poses with the briefcase before the pay-per-view probably isn't going to have a two-peat, right? And again, though, that is factual. Go through. Anybody that's posed with the case usually doesn't fucking come out with it more often than not. In fact, I don't think there's ever really been like, oh, I posed with the case once and then I go with it. So I'm trying to think.
I just love all of these great rules that you have for who you're picking to win.
Because here's the thing, like, again, this is another one where I was like, oh, I really think Miz is going to win. And not only that, like, the whole Bryan contract situation does have me questioning it, which is a bit more grounded in, like, ambiguity and fear. Because I don't know what the fuck he's going to do, and I hope he doesn't go to AAA, because fuck AAA.
Dude, but if he goes to AAA, he'll be in Lucha.
Is it worth it? I think it is.
Yeah.
I think it, if for no other reason, Mundo versus Bryan and Pentagon versus Bryan. Yeah, it's worth it. Fuck.
That was like the ultimate. It's worth it. Damn it.
And like, let me just say this from the fandom perspective, because I feel like I really haven't been able to talk much as a fan for this show, and I'm gonna take my fucking time to do it now. Samoa Joe deserves to fucking win. Fuck.
Well, you're spoiling it because I straight up am just picking Samoa Joe to win.
Hey, well, then I'm straight up hoping you're fucking right, because that man, for what he does on a microphone, deserves to be WWE champion. I'm sorry. Like, he is fucking killing it. He deserves a run. It still sickens me that he's missed 2 WrestleMania straight, once because of injury and then once because we don't know what to do with this guy. I get fuck you. Yeah, he deserves the fucking world. I want Joe to win. Let me tell you something too. Even though I don't think 2 Raw people are winning back to back, because I've already picked Sasha for the women's. If Braun or Finn won, I'd be fucking cool with it. Finn, because I like the dude. I actually think he has more charisma than people give him credit for. And I think he deserves to be back in the main event run for a rematch that he should have fucking gotten that he hasn't fucking gotten yet. But like, we're still fucking here. And then Braun would be fucking fascinating because he doesn't need to do fucking sneak attacks. He is the attack. Look at him. Like, he could go into SummerSlam and be like, oh, I heard Brock's not here. And maybe Brock would be here. And he's like, you know, you better fucking be here because I'm cashing in.
Yeah, but how sweet would it be if he used a grappling hook to drag an entire set of rafters down on top of Lesnar again and then cashed in?
Yeah, dude, yes. Fuck Brock Lesnar. Like, if Braun Strowman would win and do that, honestly, here's my thing. Again, I don't think Braun's winning, but if Braun won, dude, have him keep the title until WrestleMania 35, and you know it's going to go to Roman eventually. Do Braun Roman in the main event, because that is a Roman Reigns WrestleMania main event that I think could actually be fucking good. Because I enjoy him and Braun in their matches. Again, I don't know how everybody else feels, but I genuinely like it.
Let's just abandon the Roman project and give it to Seth. Seth Braun, please.
Yeah, dude, fuck yeah. I'm just, again, trying to think both within a fantasy realm, but also, like, what does WWE want to do? So, like, Finn and Braun, I'm cool with. I'm honestly, you know who I'm honestly terrified of winning it, but again, like, that can't happen if we think 1 Raw, 1 SmackDown. I was worried for a bit that it was going to be Kevin Owens, because, again, guy's really getting bitched out. And I don't know. Seems to be some favoritism. I don't know. Maybe Constable Corbin's going to like fucking do something. I don't fucking know. So Kevin has got me worried a little bit.
I mean, let's not forget, we never really got any kind of resolution on Kevin Owens being like the authority's chosen one when Triple H helped him win the Universal title.
That's so like, oh God. So I want Joe to win, but who do I think is going to win when I look at this field? And I wish I could have said with conviction, oh, Miz is winning. But, like, I've really been questioning that lately, like, very, very deeply, very, questioning, like, is he going to do it? Let's look at the field. Got Miz, tentative. Would you stop giggling over there? Joe.
No, it's funny. It's hilarious to me. It's hysterical listening to you waffle over here.
Miz, no. Joe, one.
Oh God, I said waffle. Now you're going to want to think pancakes and pick one of the New Day members to win.
Well, by the way, speaking of New Day, I do think Big E's going to be the representative. He's definitely not winning. And if Kofi's in it, well, he's always been a loser his entire career, so he's not winning.
I think Kofi is going to be the representative, and there's no way he's going to win.
I mean, I'd be happy if Kofi. I think it'd be a fun as hell story. Like, oh, I finally won a Money in the Bank ladder match, but that's not fucking happening.
I will say, though, even if I don't get my exact predictions right, I do think a Raw female and a SmackDown male is going to win.
So, and I agree with that. So looking at the SmackDown side, we have Joe, Miz. Who the fuck else is in it on the SmackDown side? So many names. Let me, because I think you only have men and women's. You don't have the competitors. You don't have the competitors listed.
Bobby Roode, I have it pulled up. Strowman, Balor, Miz, Rusev, Bobby Roode, Owens, Joe, and a New Day member.
Right. Okay. So yeah, Rusev, and then I'm thinking Big E. God, Rusev winning would be fucking awesome, but I don't think that's gonna happen.
That's my thing with this is really the only two like complete dud, like sour apple kind of picks in this that I would be pissed off about winning are Bobby Roode and Kevin Owens. Like anyone else wins this match, and I'm down, man. I'm cool with it. Strowman wins, that's cool. Balor wins, I'm cool with that. Miz wins, yes, please. Rusev, yes. Joe, yes. Member of the New Day, cool. That sounds like fun. Bobby Roode and Kevin Owens, not so much.
You know what? I kind of abandoned the whole losing the most thing because I'm really looking at like who has like way too much momentum, more than they should, for the women's. And I felt like Natalya did, so I extra out, and I just went with Sasha because I feel like she does kind of have the story there, given that she was the last person to enter. And like, has really been clawing for it. SmackDown side, do I want to be bold? Again, I want Joe to win, but I can't convince myself.
I've convinced myself. I'm picking Joe officially.
I know you're picking Joe officially, so it comes down to me. I'm torn between three people: Joe, Rusev, and Miz. And Bryan's really making me question Miz.
That it would be Joe, so really it's down to Rusev and Miz, right?
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to go Rusev. I think Rusev's going to fucking win Money in the Bank.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. I'm going to go Rusev. I'm going to lock that in.
Damn, son.
Yeah, I didn't expect saying that coming in here, but here we are.
Imagine the Aiden English raps about him being Mr. Money in the Bank.
Yeah. Yeah, fucking Rusev Day is finally going to have its crowning achievement. And I hope when he cashes in, it's to a babyface fucking pop with him as an actual fucking babyface.
Wow, I don't know about that.
I don't know about it. That's why I said
he's going to cash in on a babyface AJ Styles. And then, it's going to be the U.S. versus Bulgaria country feud.
Because the only thing that does make me question Rusev is like, whatever. But like, when I think about the people that he's interacted with lately, because he beat Bryan to get here, and he actually beat Joe recently because of the Miz as special guest referees. He's actually been interacting.
Oh, so Joe is winning.
I guess so, right? But no, I am gonna go Rusev. You're gonna go Joe. If it's Joe, I'm gonna fucking cream my pants. But if it's Rusev, that'll get a decent mark out of me too. But nobody's getting a bigger mark out from me than Joe. Since we did like our big ranking.
Yeah, that's exciting, man. So let's list in order of want. Did we already do that? Did you already do that? I don't think you did.
No, neither one of us did it. Joe 1.
Yeah.
Rusev 2.
Nice.
Balor 3.
Oh, wow, okay.
Strowman 4.
Not surprising.
Let me see here. Miz 5. Thank you. Kevin Owens 6. Big E, actually no, Kevin Owens 8, Bobby Roode 7, Big E 6.
Oh,
and I only put Bobby Roode ahead of Kevin Owens because if he turned heel with the case, I actually think that could be interesting.
Yeah,
Kevin Owens is going to have to think about. So
I think Kevin Owens is really the only person here that I would not be at all excited for because Bobby Roode winning Money in the Bank means he might turn heel, and heel Bobby Roode does work.
Yeah, for sure.
So. All right, man.
God, dude, what if, but here's the thing though, like, what if we are both wrong and the winners of the Money in the Bank are just like, I mean, imagine Roode on the men's side at least. I'm not even going to begin with the women's, but imagine if Roode wins Money in the Bank.
Imagine if it's Bobby Roode and Lana.
Jesus Christ.
It's a Raw man in a
and dude, it's totally a WWE thing to do, though.
It is. It totally is. Yeah, absolutely.
So, like, I may be hemming and hawing and waffling, which I totally am. I'll admit that. But
like, I love that we're like over here, though, like trying to like scientifically figure out what's going through the mind.
I'm like that meme with the woman looking at the mathematical formula and just being increasingly puzzled with each panel. Like, okay, if you just account for the Y function, then you see that Rusev has 35% chance of winning. Like, I don't fucking know. But WWE has me so traumatized that Rude winning wouldn't fucking surprise me at all. I'm so dead.
But if you take your 66 2/3% chance and you add my 50% chance, then you know that I've got a 141 and 2/3% chance of winning on Sunday.
Exactly. Jesus. But I'm just so traumatized by WWE. Like, I'm just dead inside thinking about not only the both of us being wrong, because if you're right on both of yours, I'll fucking hate Natalya winning, but like it'll make up for it with Joe winning. But if we're just wrong on all counts and these randos fucking win the ladder match, I'm so dead inside, dude. Like, what the fuck? So I guess that leaves nothing but our main event, right?
John, can I say it?
You can. What do you want to say here, bud?
The numbers don't lie, and they spell disaster for everyone else but Senior Joe and Money in the Bank on Sunday.
Well, Ashton Steiner has spoken, and I don't want to end on any other note than that. So let's move to our main event match here.
Well, I haven't even given my order of wants.
Oh, yeah, you haven't even given your order. That's all I know is that you think Joe's going to win. So what's your order of preference then?
Honestly, number one would be The Miz, because that would mean that Bryan is sticking around and we're going to get Bryan Miz probably at SummerSlam.
Right.
2 would probably be Joe.
Nice.
3 would be Strowman. 4 would be Rusev. 5 would be Balor. 6 would be a member of the New Day. 7 Rude. 8 Owens.
Yeah, that's agreeable to me for sure. Like, I totally understand where you're coming from.
So, you know, the top 5 are a little shuffled around, but then our last 3 are pretty much the same exact thing. So, okay, let's close this out. We've been live for over an hour and a half now, and we've got Shinsuke Nakamura versus AJ Styles left. And I've been saying it in Discord for a little while. So if you guys are in the Discord, you've already kind of been spoiled on this. And if you want little sneak peeks at our preview predictions, all you got to do is donate $3 to our Patreon, getting you access to the exclusive Twitwa Patron Discord channel. I'll drop little nuggets in there every now and be like, oh yeah, guys, by the way, I'm probably going to pick this person to win. And then you'll come here and I'll be like, oh yeah, hey guys, by the way, I didn't change my mind. You knew all along. Congratulations on being in the first.
There you go.
Those $3 a month go a long way, though, man. They also allow you to kind of accumulate that money over time, and then you can request live reactions to wrestling shows of your choosing, and it'll also all go into the community pot and helps us to continue live reacting to progress. So, donate to the Patreon, buy merch on our Teespring, follow us both on Twitter, like our Facebook, and of course, remember to like this video while you're liking our Facebook, because you can like 2 things at the same time. And only other way I can ask that you guys support us is by sharing this video and this channel with all your wrestling fan friends and let them in on the best kept secret in the YouTube wrestling community. We are the workhorses of the YWC. And now AJ versus Nakamura. I've been saying in the Discord, and I'm going to say it again now. I think it's going to a double count out. Both guys down for the 10 count draw. AJ retains, and we get yet another match at SummerSlam.
Well, wait, is Extreme Rules SmackDown or Raw? Or is it another?
Oh no, you're right. Yeah, Extreme Rules it would be. That's my.
No, yeah, and every pay-per-view is co-branded, so that answers my own question. So, yeah,
so it would be Extreme Rules. Yeah.
But then it's not going to be an Extreme Rules match. That would just be like another. Like, how many draws are these people going to have?
The thing is, Extreme Rules is like varying match types. So I think it would be like, either like an I Quit or a Hell in a Cell. It wouldn't be a Hell in a Cell probably, but they would find something. I don't know. Maybe a stretcher match or an ambulance match or something.
Dude, I don't even know what to think of this feud
anymore.
You
know what? It's Styles and Nakamura. They would do 2 out of 3 falls because they like to copy New Japan. Why not?
Yeah, I guess so.
2 out of 3 falls. That's perfect.
Yeah. God.
Someone has to get the falls right. Someone has to.
I guess. Oh God, are we caught in a loop? Is this feud just gonna go on forever?
No, I think the 2 out of 3 falls is going to be the final match in the series. But I'll let you know who I'm predicting to win that match if it happens.
Right. So you just cut straight away. You think it's going to be a draw again.
Yep.
I can definitely sympathize with that logic. Do I subscribe to it though? God, see, you make such a compelling case given the nature of the feud, which I've kind of lost interest in. Like, I love heel Nakamura, and AJ's still good in ring. As a personality, AJ's gone down quite considerably. Like, I was watching his older stuff recently when he was the champ that runs the camp.
Yes!
God, I would give anything for that AJ back.
No, I miss that AJ, man. I miss him.
You know what? To me, I'm fucking sick and tired of them being so non-committal with Nakamura. Either shit or get off the pot. I say he finally wins the WWE Championship here. He picked the stipulation. I think he's going to be able to persevere. Persevere would be more of a babyface thing, but I think he's going to be able to utilize that stipulation. I think he's going to finally win the WWE Championship. And so, yeah, I'm going to go with Nakamura finally becoming WWE Champion with, what did I say? Oh, yeah, Rusev is Money in the Bank. Oh, that could be interesting. That could be interesting. So,
I mean, they did have a match at, I want to say Battleground. Was Battleground in March this year?
Battleground in March. No, I don't. Or maybe.
What was the March pay-per-view this year?
March WWE pay-per-view 2018. Look this up.
I know that there was a Rusev versus Nakamura match at a pay-per-view. It was at Fastlane.
Okay, Fastlane. All right.
And Chris Venegas in chat, we appreciate you helping us out there, brother.
Chiva makes a great point. Nakamura could use the time-honored tradition of duct tape to beat AJ Styles.
Duct tape? Are you serious?
No speak English. So yeah. Nakamura to win. You're picking a draw. And really, what I like about, the draw, in the case of a draw, it goes to the champion. So in your universe that you've constructed based on your predictions, AJ would be champion while Joe was lugging around the briefcase, which is also not a bad pairing at all.
Exactly. Yep. And there's even a chance because, I'm already predicting one cash in to close the night out, but who's to say Joe wouldn't cash in on AJ if he's down for the 10 count?
Dude, after a last man standing match, the bones are ripe for the picking.
The only way that I would see that not happening would be if it would be impossible, meaning AJ Nakamura goes on before the men's Money in the Bank, which I think is possible. That could happen.
Right.
I don't think it's likely, but I do think it's possible. I think really the match card structure is going to interest me a lot this Sunday because I'm pretty well convinced that the women's Money in the Bank is going to open the show and that Ronda Naya is going to close the show, but I wouldn't be overly surprised if men's Money in the Bank closed the show, and I also wouldn't be overly surprised if this match, Nakamura Styles, closed the show. So really, you've got 3 potential main events on this show, and I would be not surprised, albeit annoyed, if they went with the Ronda Naya route, and I would be pretty happy about the other 2 options. But in the scenario where the men's Money in the Bank closes the show, nobody's cashing in on AJ Nakamura because no one will have a briefcase yet.
Yeah, see, my opinion, the only thing I'm going to say definitively about the card structure, because I really don't know where they're going to go with it, I definitely think a Money in the Bank match, period, is opening the show. Because I feel like, in recent years, we've always had at least one to open, and then one, if not the main, usually the semi-main, or much later in the upper half of the card.
Yeah, exactly.
So honestly, dude, and I know we kind of diverge a little bit here, I wouldn't be surprised if either the men's or the women's open the show, because I think they just want to give a Money in the Bank match to open the show, period.
That's a possibility. We opened the Royal Rumble, or not, I don't know if we opened, but the men's Royal Rumble happened really early on that show.
Yeah.
So yeah, if the men's Money in the Bank opened this show, I wouldn't be overly surprised by that either. We'll see, man. I don't know. That would be an interesting route to go, though. If you open with the men's Money in the Bank, closed with Styles Nakamura, and then you had Joe cash in on Styles, that makes perfect sense.
Dude, what a sight. Joe with the WWE title to close the show.
Oh my God, it's too good to be true, isn't it?
If you want to talk about sending the crowd home happy, and I'm guessing the crowd here would primarily be the quote unquote smarks and stuff like that. But
it's in Chicago. It is in Chicago.
It is in Chicago though. And dude, here's the thing. I think Joe's so good on the mic. Like he does have that appeal with like crowds. Cause I even feel like he's been in non-smarky crowds and he gets
dude, we've also got to remember Samoa Joe versus CM Punk is a time-honored feud.
Yeah, dude. I'm starting to see it a little bit.
So I would think that Chicago, knowing how hardcore CM Punk fans they are, I would definitely think that they would have that respect for Joe at least.
Fuck. This card
this was so subtle. It was just this super quiet under your breath.
Well, no, like, because see, this card was so hard for me to predict. This is probably one of the most difficult preview predictions for me to navigate in recent memory.
I knew that this was going to be a fun preview predictions, but I did not think that we would go for an hour and 40 minutes. Holy shit.
Because I will say, like, all throughout this commentary, I've been tempted to switch around 2 matches. But it's crazy, though, because there's no way it's happening.
Have those 2 matches been the men's Money in the Bank and this world title match?
No, it's been men and women's Money in the Bank.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I've really been tempted because I could see Carmella and Ellsworth reuniting with Becky winning the briefcase, so the roles are reversed this time.
Okay, yeah.
I've been kind of tempted to go that route, but then I would also switch and agree with you because that picture you just painted, and it is there. Like Joe promised that whoever won this feud between Nakamura and Styles, he would be waiting. As he should be, because he's fucking Samoa Joe.
And to be fair, Joe on SmackDown, the writing on SmackDown started to change on that night. So maybe the writers planted that seed with the intention of paying it off in the long run. It's not like it's 2 different writing staffs like what we're talking about with, the whole Asuka, Charlotte, Carmella stuff. It's all been, since Joe's been on SmackDown, he's had the same writing staff that whole time. So it's entirely possible that he planted that seed and that he's going to pay it off eventually. It might be on Sunday. He might win in the bank and then cash in same night on AJ, devastate AJ's life. And
you know what?
And dude, maybe then we get Joe Styles, and then maybe we get Nakamura and Bryan as a side feud. Oh yeah.
You know what, dude? I'm gonna fucking do it. I'm gonna take the fucking leap right before we go off the air. No, before we go off the air, I'm gonna because here's my thing. Here's my thing. Because here's something I just thought of though. No, hear me out. I'm dead serious. Kurt Angle's been getting a lot of shit lately.
Yes, he has.
From Stephanie and Constable Corbin, and he's like, if we lose those Money in the Bank, Constable Corbin has like been giving Joe. Beg pardon.
Who did you say has been getting a lot of shit lately?
Kurt Angle has been getting a lot of shit lately.
Okay, Angle, yeah.
From Stephanie and Constable, because Constable Corbin's been like, Stephanie has not been pleased with your performance.
Yeah.
Imagine if it all blows up on Kurt on Sunday and Raw doesn't win a single Money in the Bank match. And like that feeds the storyline of Stephanie's very displeased with you and Corbin's only breathing further down his neck. Because I think something's going to happen with Kurt. Like for them to put a constable in place, some angle's got to be happening here because they're only obstructing his job. I'm going to so I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to jump ship with you since you jumped ship with me earlier. I will say that AJ retains, but I don't think it's going to be a draw. I think AJ straight up fucking ends this shit. He overcomes the odds. He retains. Nakamura's not pleased. He may attack AJ post-match. I'll switch men's Money in the Bank to Joe, so I'll agree with you there too. He cashes in. But I think Becky's going to win the women's because Carmella's going to beat Asuka because of Ellsworth. So we've got this whole picture where Becky and Carmella are paired off and Joe and Styles are paired off and Kurt Angle is fucked because Raw has shit. And Corbin's going to really be pissed at him for it because Stephanie's really pissed at him for it. I think SmackDown's going to win both ladder matches. I think we've been kind of overthinking that one brand has to win each match. That's where I think we've been overthinking. Because Kurt Angle, it's like he's under the barrel here. So I could really see them being like, wow, Kurt, you're so horrible at your job. Raw didn't bring home one briefcase. How do you think Stephanie's going to feel about this? And then we find out, and she emasculates Kurt, which honestly wouldn't surprise me. So, yeah, I'm going to say Becky for the women's, Joe for the men's, because you painted a really nice picture. And it is that. And they have protected Joe so fucking well. He tapped out, he passed out Bryan to get in the match. And then even though he lost to Rusev, that's because Miz was referee and he didn't want Joe to win. So, like, because they had a miscommunication.
So, as far as that match goes, because I wasn't home to be able to see that match, how did the finish happen on that?
Joe ran into Miz, and then Miz kind of did, like, where he couldn't count right away because Joe got a Uranagi in the corner on Rusev, and Miz didn't make the count, and he was arguing with Joe. because Miz was like, what was that? And then when Rusev recovered, he hit a Machka kick, that super kick he does, on Joe, and he pinned him for the win. That was the setup.
Oh, did Miz do a fast count?
I don't know if it was a fast count necessarily, but that is Rusev's finisher, to be fair. So I don't even think he needed like a fast count. Like I know the Accolades is finisher, but that's like an Impact finisher. So yeah, and Joe already had the match won first. So I feel like they went out of their way to protect Joe. No, I'm taking the fucking leap. When I really think about it, I think the one place where I've been overthinking, and a lot of people, is that one brand has to win a ladder match apiece. Because I could see Kurt being totally like blown up. Raw doesn't get a fucking thing. And then who's irate about it? Stephanie. And who lets him know it? Constable Corbin. They introduced that piece so recently, too. Like, it's only going to get harder for Kurt Angle. So I'm going to say SmackDown wins both. Becky on the women's, Joe on the men's. It's a radical change, but actually this is
you know what, though, dude? I'm glad that you're changing it up so much, although I am a little bit worried that you switched over to Joe because now we agree on that. And anytime you switch over to something that I'm saying and we agree on something, it never happens.
Right. But I'm actually far more comfortable with this logic than I was previously with my previous picks.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely interested in what's going to happen. And I think that I definitely have been kind of stuck in my ways as far as picking Natalya to win, just because ever since the women's Money in the Bank was announced and Ronda Nia was announced, I've been saying even before Natalya qualified for Money in the Bank that she was winning Money in the Bank. And then when she qualified, I'm doubling down. Natalya's winning Money in the Bank and cashing in same night. So I've been kind of stuck on that, and I'm not going to give up on it. But, I think that your idea definitely has a possibility of happening, and, I'm not going to write it off. I think my biggest sort of plot hole with your idea is, again, with Ellsworth being back in the picture, that would require WWE to sign him again. And they already had him and released him for basically no reason.
And that's true. I will readily admit, that's where I'm stuck too. But Ellsworth doesn't even need to stick around necessarily for my plan to work. I would be nice. It would be better. He just needs to help Carmella get to this one match. And then Becky's like, well, where's Ellsworth now that I'm getting my revenge on you after like everything that happened to me?
Right.
So,
it's not like it's not like a devastating blow to your theory. It's just a chink in the armor.
And really, if I really, because here's what I'm more informed by. It's less Ellsworth, and really, I'm more informed by the Kurt Angle situation. Like, you could because honestly, if it wasn't Becky, I would say, I'd probably say Charlotte if I'm truthful, which fucking sucks, because I think it should be Naomi because she won the WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal, but I don't think they want to do that with her. So I am going to stick with it. But yeah, I really do think that the big thing that's been overthought is, a brand's got to win each ladder match. No, Kurt Angle's going to be fucking like cockblot big time with these briefcases. Nobody's going to be bringing shit home. And that's only going to make Constable Corbin's powers grow, because then Stephanie's going to be like, well, Corbin, I think if you had more control, this probably wouldn't have happened. So I could even see the next night Kurt being so emasculated that Stephanie's like, look, I'm too busy to run this show. So tonight, Constable Corbin's running the show. And he makes the matches. And like, I just see the noose tightening around Kurt Angle. So I see a huge Raw failure at Money in the Bank. I know it's like a really last minute thing, but me just thinking about the whole Corbin character, that's what it was introduced so recently. They've got to really start putting their foot on the gas with it, I think. What better time to start than the pay-per-view? So there you go.
Yeah. All right, man. Well,
with it. Yeah.
That was a hell of a last second swap. I definitely
I know.
Creativity. I appreciate the attention to detail, and I am not even going to try to change your mind, man.
Yeah, dude, I exhausted myself. I apologize to everybody, but again, like, this is my favorite pay-per-view of the year, and this is the hardest card I think we've ever had to do in a long time for me, because there's so many possibilities. But I feel really comfortable in these picks, far more than like picking Rusev and Sasha, honestly, because yeah, like, I think I found a path forward that makes sense. And I could see them utilizing it. And I would say, though, that I think your path as well makes a shit ton of sense. So it really all comes down to Sunday. And we could still both be wrong because WWE hates us. So we'll see. Oh.
All right, well, I think that's about all we've got. We've already kind of done our outro plugs. So I'm just going to close it out by reminding everyone we will be live reacting to TakeOver tomorrow and then Money in the Bank Sunday. John, I guess I'm just going to lay it out on the table. Do you want to live react to the post Money in the Bank Raw and SmackDown?
We can if you want. Like, I'm not opposed.
You know what? Let's let everyone know Sunday night after Money in the Bank has closed. we'll let everyone know if we're feeling up to it. Because right now, I'm a little bit unwary. I'm a little bit unsure. I'm really kind of on the fence. You're on the fence if you're kind of giving it over to me. So we'll let everyone know on Sunday if we're going to be live reacting to the post Money in the Bank Raw and SmackDown. All the rumors of WWE wanting Money in the Bank to become a part of the new Big Five as opposed to a Big Four tells me that there is a chance that the post-show Monday night Raw and SmackDown Live could be something special. I think we're going to get Sanity on SmackDown. Guessing we're going to get some kind of almost something on Tuesday. You know, there's some interesting stuff that could be happening, but I'm not entirely sure. I mean, hell, if the Undisputed Era loses the titles on Saturday, I almost have to wonder if they would debut on Raw the next day. So there's a lot of interesting stuff that could happen, but we will determine whether we're going to be doing the live reactions to Raw and SmackDown on Sunday night. And when the show's over, we'll let you guys know whether we're going to do them or not. All right. That sound good, John?
Sounds good to me, man.
And then, of course, on Tuesday, we're going to be live reacting to Progress Chapter 21. And then Wednesday, we've got Lucha Underground Season 4, Episode 2, live reactions and review. No NXT review, unless it ends up being really, really good, in which case we might do it impromptu. But anyway, we'll see you guys tomorrow, or if you're only here for the main roster, we'll see you on Sunday. Either way, though, you got to remember to stay tuned.